The importance of good seed can't be stressed enough. As we've seen over the past couple of weeks, I've had some misfires with the seeds that I've grown because I've had old seed and the seeds didn't sprout. So having good seed, fresh seed, is really of paramount importance in starting your garden. So today I'm gonna be planting cauliflower with fresh seed and revisiting some of the other vegetables that haven't worked out over the past couple of weeks and planting their seeds again too. As always, we start off with the homemade seed mix, which is peat moss, perlite, and vermiculite to give good drainage, but also water retention. I will be planting my Fairy Moss Cauliflower Early Snowball Y. As I've mentioned in the past, this has been one of the most difficult vegetables for me to grow. I tend to get a smaller head than a large head, and I think in the past that's had to do with the timing of when I've planted the vegetable. So now I plan to have it early enough where I hope I can develop a nice big head of cauliflower. Now this is last year's seed. I actually went out and bought more seed the other day because I wasn't sure that I actually how old the seed was I had. Last year's seeds should still be good. So like all brassicas, the seeds all pretty much look the same. And I'm not going to plant that many. I'll probably plant about 10 seeds, see what comes up, and then winnow it down if necessary. I'm just looking for a couple of plants to grow. And then we just take a little bit of seed mix on top. One of my viewers wrote in and said he just covers the top with vermiculite, and that's actually not a bad method either. I've done that in the past, and I noted that particularly when growing in the garden, direct sowing into the garden, and using the vermiculite on top of where you planted the seed, it has the added benefit of actually letting you know where that seed is. But I'll end up putting a label on it, and we'll be bringing it indoors, putting it on a heat mat, give it a good start. The parsley that I sowed 2 weeks ago hasn't sprouted yet, so I went out and I got myself some new seed, and we're gonna plant that right now. This is the plain or single Italian parsley. If you recall, the last one was the triple curly parsley, so we're gonna go with this variety this time. Again, seed mix, homemade seed mix. As I mentioned, having good seed is important, and you can test your seed at the start of the season. Get a napkin, dampen it, and put a bunch of seeds, 10, 20 seeds onto the damp napkin, and then seal it in a plastic bag, and you'll see what the germination is like. And had I done that, I would have seen that my seed wasn't viable, and I could have not wasted a week, 2 weeks in waiting to grow the parsley. And it's recommended that you do that. Like I said, I thought the Baker Creek seed, because it was only, 3 years old, that it would still be okay for most of the vegetables. Baker Creek is a reputable company. And the next herb I'm going to plant is rosemary. I actually got so excited about planting rosemary, I picked up 2 packs of rosemary over a period of 2 weeks. So we'll definitely be planting one of these. And the last herb I'll be starting this week is my basil, Genovese basil. Now, I had actually gotten some free seed from Baker Creek for a reddish basil. I actually grew that last year and the year before, and it produced pretty well. I don't grow a lot of basil, but because of the troubles that I've been having with their seed this year, I went out and bought another packet of seeds. This is fresh seed, so I'll be planting this. Parsley, rosemary, basil. Got it. Now, normally this is where I would switch over to giving a weekly update on the seeds that we've got growing. Because we've got a lot of things started now, a lot of plants, I'm going to actually do a separate video on the weekly updates of the seeds that we've begun sowing. That way, this video doesn't become ridiculously long and can spend a little more time discussing the seeds and rather than just blowing through everything and having it be a blur. On Wednesdays now, I think, I'll begin uploading my videos discussing the weekly plant updates. And that way it doesn't take away from the seed sowing that we're doing and doesn't take away from the updates on the seeds, so you can see how I'm progressing in the garden. We went from 3 days of 60 and 70-degree weather here in February in northeastern New Jersey, zone 7A, to mid-20s or lower. So I covered up the potatoes with the fleece just to give them a little bit of warmth, and they seem to be coming along just fine. And you can see they're starting to turn green now from the whitish color that they were before. It's too early for the others to really come through, but some will. So let's take a look at how some of these have done. So as I mentioned last week, maybe start checking a week into your speed chitting so that the chits don't get too big. So let's see how we're doing here. So as you can see, it's healing over on the potato, even though it's been cut and put back into the soil. It's not a problem. We're starting to get the chits. These are russet potatoes. I'm not sure if this one's actually going to end up chitting at all, but we'll give it more time. Most look like they could. Oh, here we go. This one's taken off really quick. So we can, I was going to say pot this one up, but since it's going into a cup, we'll cup this one up. This is the Caribe that we got from Wood Prairie Farm. Now they're starting to give us roots and shoots. And again, no rot on them. If you feel more comfortable cutting your potatoes first, letting them heal over, and then planting, by all means do that. Because what works for one person doesn't always work for the other person. There's a reason gardeners have been healing over their potatoes for years, if not centuries. You do what feels comfortable for you. So how I cut my cups, just using a pair of scissors. I make a slit like this, slit like that, and then a third one on the other side. So if you want to see what we were doing last week in our garden, check out that video right up there, and then subscribe and click that notification bell. And that way you can follow the progress on all of our vegetables as we try to grow a supermarket in our own backyard. Okay, thanks for watching.